So the first card you have in your past is the Eight of Swords. Yeah, yeah, horrible card. I hate this card. Very, very trapped, very claustrophobic. Obviously, lots of swords. Sometimes it can be about nasty words. It can be about a lot of things, but it's never good with this card. But yeah, I'm getting some kind of a gap. It's like a big gap, actually. So it feels like, yeah, it feels like you're where you wanted to be physically. It's like your environment. It actually feels quite content in your environment, and I'm just looking down at the Empress, and that kind of tells me that as well. So I think where you actually are physically, I think that's okay. Maybe you moved, which is strange in these times, because not many people are doing that, obviously. But because there's a house behind this woman, and obviously she's moved on from where she was, but she's still stuck in some kind of a situation. So, I think what's happened is maybe you've moved on mentally from someone, but maybe there's still a lot of emotion around you. So you're kind of stuck like this woman. Maybe you've got lots of words they said stuck around you. Maybe you've got lots of memories, or you've got lots of things that are still there, even though you moved on. Yeah, there might have been some. Yeah, maybe there were some lies or something like that. Because I'm getting this. Oh, I just want the truth. I just want things to be clear. That's what I'm getting. I want clarity. I want things to be clear. I'm really getting that word, clear. That's a really big thing. I keep on getting that clear, clarity. And look at this mud. Look at this mud in front of this poor woman. It's like that old saying, clear as mud, which is the opposite. So you had no clarity in front of you. So obviously what the problem was that you still had around you was that someone wasn't being clear, or they weren't being honest, and you still had that stuck around you in your energy. And you really, really wanted the truth. It was like you were with someone, you wanted the truth. They weren't giving you that truth that you wanted. And I think in your heart, you knew something wasn't right even before all this came up. Yeah, maybe you went looking for messages, looking for evidence, because swords can be about words, obviously. So we've got lots of messages. Maybe you're looking on their phone, maybe you're looking at emails, whatever it was, messaging, whatever messaging thing, Snapchat, whatever it is. And so looking for evidence of words, that's kind of what I'm getting. You went searching, and yeah, this is in your past, obviously. So hopefully you've moved on from the worst of this, but there's still some of this around you, with this circling, these swords circling this woman. So I think maybe there might still be a little part of you that wonders about this. You might think, well, maybe they were right. They were saying they were right, so maybe they were. I don't know, maybe they didn't do anything. But I think what this is telling you is, if your instincts are telling you that, and your heart's telling you that you're right, and you know that they're not doing the right thing, then you're right. You're right. If your heart tells you you're right, and if your instincts do, then you're right. And, she's got this blindfold on. She can't see anything. And, you don't need to see anything. You don't need to see the evidence if you know that in your heart. And I think that's what this is telling you. So, because it's like you've still got this little bit inside you that kind of questions yourself and thinks, oh, maybe I was wrong. Oh, I don't know. There's no evidence. And when there's no evidence, it can be difficult. But there doesn't have to be any evidence if you know that in your heart. You can tell when someone's lying to you. So don't ever question yourself. You're absolutely right if this is how you're feeling. And not just in relationships, in everything. Always follow your instincts. If you do that, you're right. I mean, how many times have you said to yourself, oh no, I won't follow my instincts. I've got a bad feeling around this, but I'll just do it anyway. It's always wrong. So just remember that, and that's what this is telling you. And, I think maybe what happened was, because they were denying things and you're kind of going crazy with this, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I think, you ended up questioning yourself and second guessing yourself in other things as well. And I think when you've been in something like this, it takes a lot of time to get yourself out of that way of thinking, second guessing yourself. Am I crazy? Am I, is what I'm thinking real? Is it not? Have they said the right thing? it's very, very, very difficult to get out of that way of thinking. So you've got to really take it one step at a time. If you're still in that, if you're still questioning yourself, look at this poor woman. She's got all this mud in front of her. And, it's not easy to walk in mud, to get out of that. It's slow, it's difficult, but, it can be done. You can do this. If this is you, you can get out of this way of thinking. It's like you've already gotten out of part of it. The other part is just getting out of that mindset. And it takes time. You've been trained into this by this person. If this is all resonating, you can train yourself out of this. So the next card you have your past is the Ace of Wands. See, this is what I'm getting. You're very strong. In other areas you are. It's just this one thing. And it's not your fault. It's because someone's kind of made you feel like that. And so, yeah, you're very, very strong, but not in a fiery way like this card. It's more like you're very persistent. If you want to do something, you just keep going, and you don't give up. And I think a lot of people underestimate you, I think, because you can be a bit of a quiet achiever. You're not like this big, bold wand. You achieve things, you get things done, but you're a little bit quiet. And so what happens is, I think, you make up your mind about doing something, like, right, I'm going to go and do this. And, you just slowly, very, very slowly go about your business day after day. And then when you finish and people see the results, it's like, oh, I didn't even know you were doing this. Because you're not a talker, you're a doer. You're not a talker, you are a doer. And that's where your strength is. A lot of people talk, they don't do, they just talk. You're the opposite. So if this resonates with you, I think this is exactly what you've been doing. You've been working on something. And, it's a little bit strange because in this climate, in this economic climate, there's lots of, obviously there's lots of bad things going on, bad timing, people who started things at the wrong time, people who opened businesses right before this. It's very, very sad, very, very sad. But with you, I'm not getting that. I'm getting perfect timing, absolute perfect timing. So it looks like you're working on something, or you're thinking of working on something, or whatever it is. And this is the perfect time to do whatever this is. It's like the perfect opportunity. So I'm not sure where you are with this. It might be a business, something you're working on, something you're thinking about doing. But if you're just starting this, keep going. I want to encourage you to keep going, because this is the perfect time for you to do this. Or wherever you are, keep going. Yeah, it's something that helps you, and it's something that helps other people as well. It might be something spiritual, something to do with spirituality, because you've got the High Priestess, you've got the Four of Swords over there as well. It might be that. Because, I'm seeing you helping people. So if it is that, absolutely keep going, because that's really needed right now. And so, yeah, that's the upside of being persistent, is that you get things done very slowly without making a big, show of it. You just go ahead and you do your thing. But the downside of being persistent is, when you persist at something, something that might not be so straightforward, something that's a little bit, slippery. It's not a very good word, but that's the only thing I can think of. Slippery, like an octopus slipping through your fingers. That's how I'm seeing this axe, or this person. I don't know if it's an axe, but whoever this love connection is who wasn't honest with you, slippery. Because it's like you're trying to pin them down and say, tell me the truth, and they're kind of slipping away like an octopus. That's kind of what I'm imagining. So I know it's not funny, but I'm just imagining an octopus. So yeah, so it looks like you're trying to use that persistence, and you're trying to do that to find this evidence. But obviously you can't do that when, you can't use persistence on someone who's shady. You really can't do that. It's like, trying to walk around with a blindfold on, like this poor woman in the Eight of Swords. So, it's impossible. You can't do it. And I think you've learned that. And again, don't blame yourself. Please don't blame yourself for this. If someone can't be honest with you, it's not your fault. If they've got a problem with you, they really should tell you, instead of, making you feel paranoid and questioning and getting yourself into this kind of mode. It's really, really horrible. So please, please don't blame yourself for anything that's happened. All you can do really now is work your way out of this. work your way out of this. Okay, so the last card you have for your past is the Empress, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the Empress. She's so, she's just so peaceful. She's so restful, and she's just so content. And I just love to be like her, but I'm not like her. But anyway, I wish I could be like her. But yeah, look at this. This is all about resting. And so if this is you, if you're in this kind of mode, you deserve this. You deserve peace. You deserve this time by yourself, away from all this questioning, away from your own mind if you're still going through this. And yeah, I know this is probably only for some people, but I was seeing a house move or something like that. I was seeing that in the Eight of Swords. Change of home, going to a new place or something like that. So yeah, if that's what you're doing, there's a lot of nesting going on. Maybe you're decorating, and Virgos have really good taste usually in their homewares and things like that. And you really need, you're a tidy person as well. So if that's you, if you're in a new home or a new environment or something like that, really enjoy this. Just really make the most of this, especially if you moved away from this horrible old relationship, and you're in your own place and you can kind of have everything the way you like it, not the way someone else wants it. So really nice time. And because it's your space, if this is you, it's your space. Even if it's small, doesn't matter. Even if it's a tiny space, it's yours. That's the big thing I'm getting at. This is my place. This is my space. And a lot of people say, making your home nice and all that, that's all very trivial. It's not important. And they've got a point, actually. When you look at what's happening in the world around us, no, it's not all that important. But really, your environment can lift your mood. If you change a colour, it can change the mood. If you have even simple things like cushions, candles, obviously are my favourite thing. So can really, if you've been in a situation, which I think you have, where someone's made you feel as if, kind of don't know yourself, finding yourself again through, your own taste, your own environment, that's just yours, no one else's. It can be like therapy, actually. Even going, and I know no one's going out and buying anything, but even buying things online, even, you might be doing your own paintings, you might be just putting pictures on the wall, or just any little things you can do just to make yourself feel a lot better at home and, by yourself. So really enjoy this time, if this is you. Okay, so the first card you have for your present is the Queen of Wands. So I think this is reminding you of how strong you are, because it's right next to the Eight of Swords, where you've got this woman who's in this really weak position, and this queen is in this super strong position. She's up really high, she's got lions everywhere, she's proud of herself. So the opposite. So this is reminding you, no, the real you isn't this person in the Eight of Swords who's kind of questioning yourself. The real you is this queen. So, so that's you. And, okay, this is what I'm getting at. I'm getting a little bit of risk. So you're probably not all that into risks. I don't think you are as a Virgo, but no one's into risks right now. No one wants to take risks with their money or their jobs or anything. We're all kind of sitting tight and waiting to see what happens. But I think with this thing you're working on, if that was resonating with you, I'm seeing a choice here, and I'm seeing some kind of big choice coming up. It's like a big decision. And yeah, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting, put yourself out there. You're going to have to put yourself out there. So maybe this risk, might have something to do with, doing something in front of an audience. It might be some way of putting your business, or if that's a business, out there in front of people. It might be a podcast, or it might be YouTube or something like that. So, it's something that puts you out in front of other people. Because if you look at this queen, she's looking right at us in the eye, and she's sitting forward, she's facing us, face on, and, thrones up on a platform. It's a little bit like a stage, and she's up there. So, I think whatever this thing is that you're going to have to do or make a decision on, it's going to throw you out of your comfort zone. But for me, it feels like this is the best thing for you. Look at this sunflower she's holding. And sunflowers grow with their faces to the sun. They have their faces facing the sun. But if you look at this sunflower, it's facing you. It's not facing the sun. It's not facing up there. It's facing you. So what that tells you is you are the sun, you're the light, you're the opportunity. This is going to come from you. So you're going to have to be front facing in something. Your face is going to have to be out there facing people or something like that. So you're going to put yourself out there, or you're going to have to put yourself out there, I should say, with this thing, because that's where the growth's going to be. That's going to help you to step forward, bring your confidence back and all of that. That's really going to help you to move forward, because at the moment, the Eight of Swords woman, she's got all this mud, she's finding it really difficult to move. If you put yourself out there, take a little bit of a risk, it's going to be scary, but it's going to really push you out there, push you forward. The other thing is, I don't want to say any more about this axe love, if it is an axe. I don't know if they're still in communication with you, but I'll just say this. Just watch out for, a late night text. We all know what that's about, late night texts. But that's all I'll say about that. Just watch out for that. And, you've got the King of Swords here as well. Very clear message. Guard yourself against this, because, you've got the devil down there as well. So, okay, there's something else here, a little bit strange. Yeah, okay, I don't want to make anyone upset. I just want to warn you. So there's definitely someone watching over you. This is what I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't know if you could see this, but there are two little angels just on this king's shoulder, and they're all watching over him, or they're both watching over him, I should say. They're kind of watching over him, they're protecting him, because that's what this card's about. It's about protection. Okay, I'm getting music. Yeah, there's music. So, again, I don't want to upset anyone, but this might be someone who's not here anymore on this earth, so it might be that. Now, there's lots of music here, so I don't know whether someone used to play an instrument or practice an instrument or something, because it sounds a bit like practicing. I'm getting kind of repetitions of notes, like scales, when someone practiced something like that. So all of that kind of repetition of notes like that, so something like that. So if that makes any sense to you, probably not my terrible singing, but if that makes any sense to you, you know who that is. It's kind of like communication through music. So maybe you've heard some music that reminds you of this person, and if that resonates, if you have heard that, that might be their way of showing you that they're around you and that they're protecting you. It might be a song that you both used to hear that kind of takes you back to when you're with that person. If that's the case, that's probably what that is, especially if it made you think about this person. So that's probably what that is. So yeah, you used to hear their music all the time. If this is you, maybe it used to annoy you a little bit sometimes, just being honest. But yeah, if this is you, you probably you'd probably give anything to hear it now. Right next to you, you really would. So I hope the right person gets to hear that. You're definitely protected by someone. And I'm glad you are, because you've got the devil here. So yeah, the devil, horrible, old, ugly. It's just horrible. I can't stand. If I've got a stack of if I've got the cards there and he's on the top, I always put them in the middle or down the bottom, because I hate him being on the top. I hate looking at him. Anyway, so yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about this axe. So I think it's an axe. It looks that way to me, or it's almost an axe. So yeah, I keep on seeing this. There might still be a bit of communication there. I'm not sure why that is. But if you're still thinking about them, it does look like they want them back. I'm not seeing that at all, but it might be excuse me, you might still be tied up in some kind of hurt, chained to this hurt, still thinking about all the things they said and all that, all the questions, chained to the secrets, chained to the secrets, chained to the lies, because you really wanted to find out the truth. And if you look at these two people on this card, let me lift it up so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so yeah, they're chained to the box. They're not chained to the devil. They're actually chained to this box that this devil's sitting on. And the box is black. It's opaque. It's not transparent, so you can't see through the box. So whatever's inside the box is hidden. So it's secrets, it's lies, it's things that you weren't being told. Sometimes this can come up as a phone. Look at the shape of the box. A locked phone, a phone that someone has put a password on. Maybe the secrets are inside the phone. So it's something like that. And you're chained to that, if you are. So yeah, it might be that you're still asking yourself questions like, oh, what was on the phone? Did they delete that message? All that kind of thing. So it's all part of getting through that default mode of questioning yourself, because it has turned into your default mode, I think, because of the way they made you kind of really, really crazy. That's what I'm seeing. You'll get through this. I can see that you are going to get through this. Again, same thing that I was seeing in the Eight of Swords. It's going to take time, but you will get through this. And if you're still in contact with them, definitely try and stop that contact if you can. If you have to talk with them, sometimes, if you have children with them, that might be the case. Or maybe there's some other reason. If you have to talk to them, minimize the contact as much as you possibly can. Because, I hate to say this, but even though you thinking about this all the time and questioning this all the time, I really don't think it's going to get you to the answer. I think even if you ask them, even if they were right in front of you and you could ask them all the questions, I still don't think you'd get to the answer. So I think you've just got to let this go if this is you. Because if this is you, you're really wasting your energy and your time on this. And what that's doing is it means that you're spending your energy on this person. And really, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be spending it on you. So really have a think about that. Every time you think about them, think, nope, I'm wasting my energy on them. I need to turn that onto me. What can I do for myself? What can I do? Can I go for a run? Can I do something that's going to educate myself? Can I do something that nourishes myself? Can I meditate? Can I give myself some healthy food? What can I do that's good for myself? Instead of spending that on them, I'm going to spend it on myself. So try and do that. That might help you. I don't know. It's just an idea. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the High Priestess, which I absolutely love. I love the High Priestess. Beautiful spiritual card. Again, very, very peaceful like the Emperor. So you've got this peace around you now because you're away from all this now.